Yo, yo, YouTube, what's up? It's the Junkie, and I'm back with video number 2 of my take on Outcast, the TV show. This is for Season 1, Episodes 3 and 4, and I'm going to show you some books. This is take 2 of this video. I uploaded it, and it was banned, basically, worldwide, because I had the TV playing in the background. So why the one video got through and this one didn't, I don't know, but unfortunately I am not able to do that anymore with the TV playing, unless I find some other way of showing something on TV, maybe just like the Outcast, whatever. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it, guys. This is for episodes 3 and 4. Hope you guys are enjoying this little video series. Got Miss Haley down here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This episode, it starts out with two cops and the one good cop. Well, I call him the good cop, bad cop. Good cop is Luke and the bad cop is Blake. But what's great about this show is it shows you, no matter what your walk of life is, you can be affected by these demons. You can be possessed by these demons. So, the very first scene of the episode 3, it shows two cops, Luke and Blake, and they're bowling, and Luke is with his wife, and Blake is with a blind date that they set him up with. And it just shows them bowling, and Blake, who I call the bad cop, in this scene, he's getting ready to start bowling, and you can just see his expression on his face just change to like a monotone expression, and he starts sweating, and he bowls, and it's a gutter ball, and his date makes a comment, and he snaps back at her with a really rude comment about being a fat girl or something. And then they go home. He goes home with Luke and his wife, and he's not feeling well, so Luke's wife sends him to the store to get some like medicine and some crackers, some soup, and basically Blake just zones out, and he freaking kills her. He kills her. It's very violent. He kills her with his bare hands, because at this point he is fully possessed by this demon. And here's the covered issue number 1. But yeah, so Luke comes back, and they don't really show anything yet. They show it later in the episode of what happened, but basically Blake just murders his wife, and he's, then it flash forwards. I don't remember how far in the future it flash forwards, but Blake is in like a basement of like a facility, like I want to say like a mental facility, mental house facility or whatever, and he's chained up downstairs. Well, Luke goes and tries to get Reverend Anderson and Kyle to like perform an exorcism on Blake to see if they can get the demons out. And this is where we learn that Reverend Anderson has done exorcisms on many people before, and he believes that they've worked. So he tries, and basically this demon just laughs at him and tells him, hey, when's the tooth fairy coming out? Stuff like that, just kind of like mocking him. It's basically letting him know that his exorcism is not even working. It's not even having any effect on him at all. He makes some sly comments to Kyle about being the outcast, and Kyle loses his temper, and he starts punching the guy. And you can tell when he's punching him, the blood and the sweat from Kyle and his touch is you can hear like a sizzling sound, and it's really affecting the demon. So obviously, whatever Kyle has inside of him, or whatever his ability is to affect these demons, and it affects them in a negative way. So it's almost like holy water on them, I would say. Okay, so they go about, and the Reverend's exorcism doesn't work. Kyle kind of has a confrontation with the demon, and it's having an effect on him. Then they kind of show off. They go to a different scene where it's Megan, which is Kyle's sister. In the previous episode, she saw somebody that from her past who kind of got her flustered, when she was driving made her, like, you know, forget where she was at. She was really flustered when she saw this guy. We don't know who he is yet. So in episode 3, her and Mark, which is her husband, the cop, is they're having dinner, and this guy Donnie walks up and introduces himself, and Megan is, of course, flustered again. Come to find out, they were raised in a foster home together. They're not brother and sister, but they're foster kids that were raised in the same household. We learn that Donnie abused Megan as a child, and this has affected her through her adult life. And she kind of lets Mark know what happened after this restaurant scene. So Mark he pulls him over because Mark's a cop. He's in his squad car. He pulls him over, and he goes haywire on him, and he starts beating the crap out of him. But unfortunately, it's all caught on a dash cam because he's in his squad car. So you don't know what's going to happen to Mark yet, but you do know something's going to happen to him from his job because he's obviously beating somebody up on a dash cam. Then we meet. Then it shows Sydney, which is the antagonist of the show. He's in a hotel room and he's shaving with a straight razor. He's obviously getting ready for something, and kind of shows him getting dressed, and with a smirk on his face, it shows him leave. Then you get to Giles, which is the police chief. You know that Mark was investigating this little trailer they found out in the woods, and Mark had found a gold watch and some other things. And he gives the gold watch to Giles, and he recognizes the watch. You can tell he knows where it's from, who owned it. So he tells Mark, I'm taking over the investigation. You go home, get cleaned up, get some rest or whatever. So at the very end of the episode, Kyle comes home, and his next door neighbor was, of course, was murdered, and so he's upset about that, and he basically tells Anderson, he goes, do you believe that all your exorcisms have worked in the past? So now they kind of question if they worked or not. So now they're going to try to go back to these people and figure out, did it work? Did it not work? Has the demons just been playing along, making them think that it worked when it really didn't? That's basically episode 3. It was a pretty good episode. Like I said, it's a slow burn, guys. You're not going to get it. It's not like a ton of action or anything. It's just a slow burn. But you're gradually learning about these characters in the show. Who's affected, who's not affected. Here's issue number 2. Who's possibly possessed? Why are people holding stuff back? Okay, so then we get into episode 4, and it's basically same thing. They're talking about Norval, the funeral for Norval. Sydney shows up, and he claims that he's known Norval in the past, and he heard he died, so he came to show his respects. But at this point, no one knows who Sydney is, what his intentions are, or anything. So then here's another. Each episode has like a really good creepy part in it, and this part here is where they go to this old woman's house, Mildred, and we come to find out that Mildred was possessed, and that Anderson performed an exorcism on her, and he thought it worked because she's been going to church, and she doesn't show any signs of being possessed anymore. So he thinks it works. Come to find out, she gets alone with Kyle because Anderson's putting groceries away that he brought for her. Here's issue number 3. Yeah. So Kyle learns that she still has a demon in her because she does some things. I don't want to give it away, but she does some things to make him say, okay, she's still possessed. So he lets Anderson know. Anderson talks to her, and of course she shows him something. She does something, facial expression, that he's like, all right, she's not cured. So now they think, okay, we got to go check on Allison, which is Kyle's wife or ex-wife, because obviously we didn't know this, but we learn now that Anderson had performed an exorcism on her. So now they're curious as if it worked or not. So yeah, that's mainly the whole episode of episode 4. But at the very end, Giles goes out to this trailer in the woods. Now he wants to do his own investigation because now he knows somebody he knows is linked because of the watch. So he goes out there. He's starting to approach it, and he notices that Ogden, which is the fire chief. Remember at the very beginning of episode 1, they're all playing poker together. He sees him there, and he's like dumping like gasoline all over this trailer, and he lights it on fire. So now Giles knows for sure that Ogden has something to do with it, because I think he was thinking at first that maybe his watch belongs to Ogden. So maybe he was thinking that it got stolen by some thugs, and they went to this trailer, and that's where they left it. But now he knows that he has something to do with it. So yeah, guys, like I said, it's a really good show. You really need to check it out. Season 2 is getting ready to premiere. Here's issue number 4. It's a really good show, and if you have HBO, or I mean Cinemax, I'd suggest checking it out. Or if you can find it online, check it out. Here's Kyle and the Reverend. But anyways, guys, I had to change this video up a little bit because, like I said, my previous upload got blocked by Fox. So stay tuned to next Friday for episodes 5 and 6. There's only 10 episodes in this season, so anyways, guys, it's the Junkie. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry, the first one was a lot better, so I had to redo this on the fly. Anyways, guys, Junkie, see you next week. Peace.